Hi, my name is Auxiliarist Dan Grunendijk, and today I am interviewing Master Chief Marc Moore with Station Grand Haven. Master Chief Moore has been with the Coast Guard for 22 years. He recently came on board as the officer in charge of Station Grand Haven, and we're going to talk a little bit about leadership as it relates to culture. I'm going to ask Master Chief Moore some questions, and let's begin. So, Master Chief, there's a saying in management jargon that culture eats strategy for lunch. How is culture different than strategy?
Culture is the atmosphere that you provide for your unit, your crew. It's the atmosphere you allow them to have. It's an atmosphere, you have an open door policy. They're not scared to come into your office. You give them a goal and they can come up with a plan to reach that goal. Strategy would just be the plan. You giving them a plan, this is my strategy, go do this. I actually provide an atmosphere here for them to come up with a plan to accomplish our common goals.
Good. As a military organization, the Coast Guard has a culture full of history, tradition, and people. Naturally, as a volunteer organization, the Coast Guard Auxiliary has its own unique culture. Master Chief, you told me a couple months ago when you first came to Station Grand Haven that one of your goals is to have people want to come to work. People who have a sense of purpose, people who are excited and proud to be part of this unit. How do you get people motivated to come to work, Master Chief?
The first thing to motivate somebody, you have to know what motivates them. Might be something at home, might be family, might be money, might be the reason they joined the military, to save lives. That might be the motivating factor. So when they're here, I want them to want to come to work. I want to give them the opportunity to meet that motivation, whatever that motivation is. If it's, I have a member right now that's motivated to mentor people. So I'm going to use him. I'm going to make him my agent, my little motivation agent, to kind of go around and mentor people. And he's going to be in charge of maybe a mentoring program. Allow him to kind of come outside of his box a little bit and really want to come here for that purpose. And if it might not be another purpose, it's at least that purpose. We have to allow our members to grow in this organization. I've been doing this 22 years. They only give me 8 more years to go. Somebody's got to replace me. It's my job to mentor folks. It's my job to help those people who are motivated, that want to come to work. We do social events. We do morale events. We did a cornhole tournament 2 weeks ago. We do sports days on Friday. We do unit physical fitness sessions that people enjoy. And we do a lot of boat training. People come here and they come to work and they want to come to work, and that's exactly what I want.
Good. Master Chief, how do you know when a culture is working for you as the unit leader and when it's maybe working against you?
So we train, maintain, and operate. So if training is happening, if they're maintaining their qualifications, maintaining the duty section, maintaining the building, maintaining the boats, and if they're completing the mission, that's the operation phase, then the culture is working for me. And if it's going the way I think it should be going, no mishaps, corners are clean, the crew wants to be here, you can tell if it's a good climate and good culture. If the mission's not getting done, if the hours aren't getting done, the boardings aren't getting done, the recreational boating safety education's not being done, if those things aren't being completed, then I can see very easily that the culture's not working for me.
Good. Master Chief, in your career of working and serving in the Coast Guard, have you ever been with an organization that has a bad culture, and what might that look like?
So there was a delineation between the crew and command. It was basically it was two teams fighting on a battlefield. It's your crew was on their own team and the command was on their own team, and when the command was there, the crew was working. When the command left, the crew kind of was like, they were kind of haphazardly doing things, right? They were kind of doing their own thing. Yeah. That shows that there's a bad culture, and it was a terrible culture, but we kind of stepped up as leaders from below and kind of pushed our agenda on how we wanted the things to work and how we wanted to do the mission.
Good. Master Chief, how do you go about changing a culture within an organization? So let's say, for example, you come on board and you're the new person, you're the new leader. How do you go about changing or creating your own culture that's unique to you?
It takes time. You have to find what is needed. It's not. There's 1,000 different moves in chess, right? So you have to find out which move you need to make to win a chess game. It's the same thing in leadership. I have to come here and figure out what the crew needs to make that culture better. I have to find out how the culture's bad. If they're not being empowered, I need to empower them. If they're being empowered too much, I might need to take a little bit more control. I might need to stop. Hey, hold on, let's have more meetings, and maybe change things that way. Or like for instance, if a crew's not doing, let's say there's no morale to a unit. You get to a unit and the morale's low, and you can tell right out the gate. People are scared to talk. They're not having fun at work. There's no laughter. There's no, the food's not good. Things aren't really happening. That's easy. I can come and make changes. We make jokes. Keep it clean, professional. Have jokes, kind of that firehouse mentality. If everybody's a family, everybody's want to be part of everybody's life. Do things outside of work. Set up goals. Have your supervisors, enforce goals or find those goals that those people want to meet and help them meet those goals.
Awesome. Good. Let's say you join an organization, and this may have happened to you at some point in your career, Master Chief. You join an organization, you check into the unit, and it does not have a good culture. In fact, it's actually a bad culture. There's a lot of negativity in that culture. How does a young new joined person survive in a culture that may be that way? What advice would you give them?
To the young person?
Yeah, if in your case, for example, you're a non-rate reporting in, and man, this is not really the Coast Guard that you and I aspire to have.
So I'm the first thing I say is put your head down, and just grind through it. Get the job done. You know what you have to do. Set your own goals. You're probably going to have goals that the unit's going to set for you, and probably going to be from the top. It's going to be, if it's a negative culture, it's probably coming down from the top. So use your position, even as the most junior person, you can make the biggest difference at a unit. Be positive when you come to work.
Great.
Get those qualifications done, get those things done, learn what you need to learn your job, know your job. Once you know your job, and then you can start knowing the people you work with, learn those people, build relationships with them, and then know when to say no. That's another thing. As that non-rate, if there's something going on that you this is not right, then you need to speak up. And that might not necessarily be within that the privy of the command. You might have to go outside the command to get that to happen. But for you getting to a unit that doesn't have, or not even necessarily a unit, it could be anywhere, right? Corporate America.
Yeah.
If corporate America, if you're seeing problems from the bottom,
right,
make a difference, make a change.
Right.
Step up and be that change agent to make everything better.
Yeah.
Make it the way you want to make it. Luckily my crew lives here 50% of their life.
Yep.
50% of a year my crew is here on duty. And I want them this to be their second, or home away from home, right?
Yep.
I want this to be their family away from family. And that kind of, by advising that council, making that culture happen here, it makes them, it's funny to watch because you see crew members going home and then they're like, hey, where are we going tonight? What are we doing tomorrow? We're going hunting. Hey, everybody meet me at hunt camp. Hey, everybody meet me at the hockey game. Meet me here. And all of a sudden it becomes this group of folks that's actually doing stuff outside of work and at work.
So social things are really important.
Yes.
And I know they are in the Coast Guard, and we try to do that in the auxiliary as well. But that's sometimes where that real connectiveness comes with. And those long-term relationships and family happen in those social events. So I only have a couple more questions for you, Master Chief. What are some of the keys to leading people in 2020? This is a different year. Last year was a different year. This is kind of the same year, but maybe a little bit of a repeat of last year. But this year, what do you think are some of the key leadership things that unit organizations, management, people, what should be thinking about and talking about and emphasizing?
Social media. Social media is huge, right?
Yep.
I wasn't on board with it till 2017, so I'm still kind of in my toddler stages with social media. But I got here, we didn't have a social media account at all.
Yep.
I'm like, that's what the crews, that's what they're looking at. They're going on their Instagrams, their Snapchats, their Facebooks.
Yep.
MySpace is a thing of the past, but I think I did have a MySpace account. But so that's what the crew, allow them to utilize that, allow them be acceptance of change in the organization when it's technology's
Yep.
You know, and there's a lot of leaders in the Coast Guard in the world right now that are still have flip phones. And when you see that folk with a flip phone, you're like, why do you still have a flip phone? Like, we have come so far past that, and you're unwilling to change. If you're showing that you're not willing to change to the new things, then your crew's going to be, the culture's going to die, right? You're going to, things are going to kind of close in on people. I've seen it where units where they're like, oh, you can't have your cell phones. Well, guess what? This is like, it's attached to the hip now. They let kids have cell phones in schools now.
Yep.
Like, it's not going away. It's not going anywhere.
Right. I think the change has been across all lines, impacting everybody. And I think the key to surviving it as a leader in 2021 is to be flexible, be adaptive, to embrace some of these things. Some things are going to work. Some things are not going to work. So you kind of got to figure things out. We're not going back to the past. Without a doubt, that is not going to happen. So I think, you know, as a leader, you have to kind of keep your ear to the ground. You try to find things that are working for you. Those things that are not, let them go.
Specifically with this generation, they want to do work. They want to work. They want to do good things.
Yes.
Like, give them. I have 2 members here. Like, you know, I learned about him. I was like, oh, he's a fitness guru, right? That's what he does. He's got his own mentoring account that basically mentors people. He's got his own application that he built and designed, and he does videos and sends them to them and gives them diet plans and everything. Well, I'm like, you do that? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to use you to do that here, right? Like, you're going to do that. Like, he's like,
take advantage of that.
I'm going to take advantage of your skill set,
right?
So. And I use him. I learned a ton from him. You know, not just necessarily on the fitness side of the house, but even on technology. Like, the guy, he builds websites. Like, and he's in the Coast Guard. Yeah. Like, you're gonna be my Facebook. Yeah. You know, admin. Like, you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna build my Facebook account for me. Yeah. Roger that, Master Chief. Like, that's something that we can do. Like, and it helps inspire him to want to come to work. It's like, hey, this is awesome. Right. So use them. Manipulations. I hate the word manipulation, but it's very easy to manipulate people into doing things they want to do. Yeah. Right? And having it work for you, and you're, providing something that, that they don't have. And so. For lack of better words, I would say you manipulate them using something they want to do for the greater good of the organization.
Awesome. Okay, Master Chief, one last question today. You have created a library of leadership books here at the station for your unit. How are you using those resources to enhance the culture that you want to create?
So, history lessons, right? Books, all books are is history. They're things that happened in the past. We can fall back on history and look to see the good things that happen, the bad things that happen. I use these books when something not so great happens. I pull members into my office, and we go over, maybe I'll find something in a chapter or find a paragraph or a sentence that I can use to kind of dispel fact from theory and kind of use it and let them read it, and they say, oh, well, this isn't the first time this has happened, and I'm like, no, it's not. So let's move on. This is how they corrected this issue. This is how we fixed it back then, and this is how we're going to fix it now.
Yeah, awesome. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Master Chief, thank you very much for your time today.
Auxiliary Granddyke, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Welcome. All right. I sure hope it recorded.